Hi guys, Sam here from Baseline. So today we're going to do a racket review testing of the brand new Tecnifibre TF40 version 3. So the one that I've got here today, I've got the 290 gram. This is the one that we're going to hit first, okay? Now this has got a 98 square inch head, it's 290 grams, and it's got a 16 by 19 string pattern. Now, just a quick note on the string. The string that's in it currently is the Tecnifibre Ice Code string. It's not really a size, measure of string that I've used very often, so quite excited about hitting with that as well. So cosmetically, if we start with that first, I think this racket looks awesome. It's got it's got the sort of the classic white sort of, majority of the frame is white, which is what I like about Tecnifibre frames. It's got a really nice khaki sort of detail to it as well, colour to it, with like a quite a bright orange detail in there as well. So I think cosmetically the racket looks fantastic. In terms of shape and in terms of frame width and that sort of stuff, it's quite a traditional size. It's sort of a traditional shape in the beam, so quite thin, quite blocky. I'm expecting the frame to be maybe quite stiff, I don't know, but it is definitely a racket that would definitely appeal to me as a tennis player and as a tennis coach. So anyway, let's gas in, let's hit some balls and let's see how it feels. Okay, so for the first couple of shots, the racket definitely feels like it's quite fast. Definitely got quite a fast swing. Just try and catch a couple out of the middle at least, and not too close. But I still feel like I'm generating enough pace and enough spin to try and keep the ball in, which is nice. Definitely feel like I've got quite a lot of control with it as well, which is, for me, is quite helpful. Okay, so the backhand, which is, I would say, is my best shot, that feels really solid. Yeah, it does feel though like it could just do with a little bit more weight maybe. I think if I'm playing a match or playing competitively, just wonder if I'm lacking a bit of pace on this backhand side. How does the slice feel? How does the slice feel? Let's have a... Yeah, so definitely a shot that I rely far too much on. But that feels nice actually. Doesn't actually feel as stiff as I was expecting the racket to feel. Sometimes these sort of blocky shaped rackets are notoriously stiff with a tiny sweet spot, but that feels really, it's not too forgiving, but I don't feel like it's trying to, burst my elbow, or if I don't quite get it out of the middle. Okay, so we're going to hit some volleys with this now. Now I will admit, viewers, this is not somewhere I'm the most confident of tennis players, so being at the net is definitely not my strongest position. However, you can tell, I'm going to give this a go. So, expecting this to feel really solid with lots of feel. And feels really nice. This racket might make a volleyer out of me. So again, feels really solid, lots of feel, even on my shoddy volleys. Just wonder though if it does lack that little bit of pace. Just think if you're like a competition or like a performance player, I just wonder if you're going to be looking for a little bit more oomph behind the racket. Perhaps maybe where it's big brother in the 305 is perhaps going to be maybe one to test later. Right, so let's see what this racket feels like on the serve. Yeah, I feel like I can generate okay pace, I guess. Might not have the biggest serve in the world, but I feel like I can be quite accurate with it, which is as a control frame, it's what you're after, I guess. Okay, last one. I mean, I've hit 8 serves there and not missed. Unheard of. Okay, so to wrap up, the Tecnifibre TF40 290 gram is definitely a racket that I would recommend. Now, I'm 32 years old, nearly 33. I'm a tennis coach. I have been since I was 16, 17 years old. As a tennis coach, if I was to use this racket, I think it would be fantastic. So I feel like I could do an orange ball lesson, green ball lesson, you know, nudging the ball around the court with beginners and intermediates, no problem. But then my next lesson, if that was, you know, a decent adult or a decent junior, you know, who really rips the ball well, then I feel like I'd be able to keep up with this racket. If you're a tennis player, and obviously not a coach, if you're looking for a racket, you're looking for a little bit more control, but also doesn't carry the 300, 305, 315 gram weight, and a 98 square inch head, again, all base round control, then I think this is a really good option. It's a really fast racket, got quite a fast swing when you hit the ball. But what you might find is it just lacks a little bit of weight sometimes. If you like to use the rackets that are a bit heavier, maybe you might be looking at the TF40 305, which we actually have in our shop. So stay tuned, keep an eye on the videos, and we'll make sure we get a racket review of the 305. Thanks for listening, guys.